bring in more discussion on.
Yeah, inshallah. No problem. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah. Assalamu ala rasulihil kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een wa tabi'ina lahum bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin amma ba'd. Our honorable guest speaker, Dr. Anwar Misbah Soubra, distinguished lecturers, speakers, our teachers from the universities, and my dear brothers and sisters, students. This is our pleasure to welcome you all to this special lecture on cryptocurrencies, relevant Sharia compliance issues. This is a part of the events and programs organized by Islamic Economics Association of the Faculty of Sharia and Islamic Studies, Kuwait University. So as you know, we are trying to promote Sharia compliant standard strategies and modules in the field of Islamic banking and finance by conducting lectures, workshops, trainings, programs, and conferences. And now we initiated as well a kind of majalla magazine, and we are going to officially work on it. And we also welcome your any very important, relevant article if you wanna publish in our website as well. Please send to us, and we will review it. Then we can publish in our website. So a part of that, today's lecture on cryptocurrencies, relevant Sharia compliance issues, is one of the contemporary topics that we are discussing, and we are trying to know more. So we do have today a very prominent scholar and Dr. Anwar Misbah Soubra, who had a PhD in Sharia, Islamic finance and economics, and former head in Sharia compliance in Oman and Bahrain. And currently he is teaching as a lecturer in the University of Beirut Islamic University. He is teaching graduate students and supervising master's and PhD students on the relevant fields and specializations. So without further ado, let me call upon our Dr. Anwar Misbah Soubra to conduct the lecture, please.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Dr. Hamid.
Most welcome, Doctor.
Okay. I'll go to share the screen for the PowerPoint now. Okay. This is the cryptocurrency, as Dr. Hamid said, is a very contemporary issue, and it has been subject to so many discussions and debates, and we are going to discuss this topic today. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Therefore, I'm going to present the various Sharia relevant issues regarding cryptocurrencies. Although I think that it's a very highly sensitive topic that should be discussed in the Islamic Fiqh Assembly for a collective fatwa, Sharia resolution regarding this type of currencies. It's not a simple issue to tackle, but There are already in the market thousands of cryptocurrencies floating around, and so many people are, in fact, buying, trading, mining these cryptocurrencies. And then after the fact, they come to ask, is it Sharia compliant or not? So in these few slides, I will propose to you certain issues that are relevant to cryptocurrencies. And then at the end, we're going to discuss it based on your questions. A cryptocurrency basically should be, the discussion on cryptocurrency should be split in two parts. The first part regarding the currency itself. Is it a currency? Is it Sharia compliant as a currency? And is it acceptable to be issued, traded, and used as a medium of exchange? Therefore, this is relevant to the nature of the cryptocurrency itself. The second part is relevant to trading and using the contractual agreements using cryptocurrencies. Therefore, these are two separate issues. But basically, if we pass through the first one, then we can move into the second one. If cryptocurrency is considered as a Sharia compliant currency, then trading will be made easier. But if the trading aspects also are Sharia non-compliant, even if we prove that cryptocurrency is an acceptable currency, then trading needs to be adjusted. Therefore, I'm going to present on both scales what will be the impact of introducing a cryptocurrency on these two parts, on these two sides. Now, a cryptocurrency, in fact, is as you already know, is a peer-to-peer transaction. It means that we have individuals transferring funds to each other using a cryptocurrency through an exchange medium, usually electronic, on the web. Cryptocurrency is still restricted to transfers. You know, it's not. It hasn't gone a step further into a different category of financial transactions. Therefore, it's still restricted to transfers. But as a topic, peer-to-peer transfer using cryptocurrency is not a singled-out transaction. In fact, if you recall the concept of crowdfunding is a peer-to-peer financing transaction. The difference here is that crowdfunding has been regulated. There are rules and regulations to control it. And even IOFI is working on a Sharia standard regarding crowdfunding. Therefore, it has relevance for regulatory organizations. It's still under the general legal authorities, and it is traded subject to supervision of financial regulatory authorities. Therefore, it is under control. The difference is that the peer-to-peer transaction in cryptocurrency is outside of these boundaries. It's completely free, liberal, and as they described, is decentralized because it has no reference to any official authority. Therefore, the topic here is that peer-to-peer is using crowdfunding, but it is regulated to a higher degree. Now, therefore, these are the two major pillars that I would like, or sides of the cryptocurrency, that I will be showing certain ideas regarding that the nature of the currency and the contractual transactions. This will be the perspective that we should look upon. Now, I'm showing here is a slide which is already a very well-known type of relationship regarding how currencies are issued all over the world, although I have given the American type, given that the US dollar is the strongest currency in the world until now. And as we know now, we have regulatory authorities. Given these three regulatory bodies, the government, the parliament, and then the central bank, it means that we have a political decision issued by the parliament and approved by the government and then it is transferred to the central bank. The central bank issues the currency either directly or by contracting with a currency printing agency, and then this currency is issued to the market, to the banking system as a whole, and then we have a monetary policy which is governed by the central bank to control the money supply, and this control has its own instruments like issuing bonds or making variations in interest rates up and down as the market requires. And then this currency is used from the banking system into the individuals and the companies who wish to either use this money to deposit their money in the banks or to obtain financing facilities. Therefore, we have a complete scale, a complete system from the higher authority all the way down, and it is controlled, supervised, and goes through the banking system, then to the individual. Then this filtering going through from the higher echelon all the way down to the individual is under control. Although we have recurring monetary crisis, but this doesn't deny the fact that we have regulatory authorities, that we have a chain to follow in issuing the currency and circulating it in the economy. Therefore, when it comes to cryptocurrency, we are deleting all that, because we are saying it's a peer-to-peer transaction, basically transfer. It means A transfers to B a certain sum of money directly. Money or a currency which is not issued by the central bank, which is not approved by the government, which is outside the banking system, and that has no physical existence. Therefore, we are simply eliminating, deleting all the hierarchy of the monetary system available in any country. And we are putting this issuing of currency and circulation of this currency in the hands of individuals directly. Now, this is a concept that has to be discussed on a very high level. Is it permissible for currencies to be issued by individuals, and individuals decide what will be the money supply for this currency, and they decide where to trade it and how to trade it? By this, we are eliminating all authority coming from official regulators, and the public will do whatever they like, and they will exert their complete freedom to issue such type of cryptocurrencies and make their transactions, basically transfer so far as they wish. Now, eliminating regulatory authorities is not an easy function to do. It's not an easy decision to do. It may not be a wise decision to do. Now, no matter how as I said, the recurring crisis and the size of this, the volume of this crisis, it doesn't mean that it is a reason to eliminate these regulatory authorities and put everything in the hands of individuals. This is a very, very unwise decision to make. So far, look, if you go to the United Nations, how many countries do you have listed? Something like 240, I don't remember the exact number. But so far, I was reading an article the other day, last week, it says that we have so far more than 59,000 cryptocurrencies issued. Of course, now Bitcoin, which I'm using as an example here, is the most famous one. But 59,000 cryptocurrencies. It means any individual who has the blockchain technology or maybe a new technology used other than blockchain can issue his own currency and then start issuing all around and trading with, using it to trade in with other people. Is this wise? Who is going to, is this cryptocurrency part of the money supply in a country or in the world maybe? Because it's not, if you're talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is not a cryptocurrency for a single country. Any person all over the world can use it as long as you have a smartphone or a laptop. Therefore, is it part of the money supply? And if it is, who controls the volume? Bitcoin says we are only to issue 21 million Bitcoins. Therefore, money supply is limited. Who makes this decision? Bitcoin, of course, they made their decision. Is it wise for us, for the world as a whole, to put this decision in the hands of one individual? We'll come to discuss similar issues regarding cryptocurrencies. Now, since using cryptocurrencies for transfer is peer-to-peer direct, and it eliminates the role of the banking system as a whole, including the central bank. Now, in this regard, what happens? If we look, anybody who works in the banking system, you should realize that when you transmit a certain amount of money, it goes through a bank. You apply for a transfer either through your laptop or you have to process the paperwork by a transfer application to the bank. Therefore, what happens is that the bank here has the duty, as already specified by regulatory authority, which is the central bank, for the bank to do the KYC and the AML. It means that the bank has to verify the individual, the signatures, proper documents. If it's a company, the commercial registration, the authorized signers, that they have legitimate businesses, and all the KYC and AML information that they have to obtain. Therefore, once they make the transfer, also they should have verified why are you making the transfer, what are you buying, or what service are you getting, or is it simply a family transfer, or what type of transfer? Therefore, banks on both sides of the transfer, whether it's a transferor or it's a receiver, they have to verify their clients, the client who is ordering the transfer, making the money, paying the money, and the client on the other side who's receiving the money. They have to verify the ID, the personality, and all this data that's required by the central regulatory authority. Now, when it comes to cryptocurrency, we are deleting this. What happens here in the cryptocurrency? Now, I'm not the top technology guy as a reference for the cryptocurrency, how it works, but I'm going to present only the principal idea. Here, what happens in the cryptocurrency, it means that somebody is writing on the general ledger in the trading post on the web that that a party has transferred a certain amount of money to a second party. Therefore, without passing here, since we don't have this transaction passing through a banking system, it means you don't have verification on both sides of the KYC AML. And who's going to do that? It's the individuals themselves. Therefore, we are replacing the banking system with normal, regular individuals who have computers at home, or in fact, computers at home cannot do the trick because it's not enough. You need high-powered computer systems to do that. And we'll talk about this very shortly when we talk about mining. Therefore, you will write as an account holder that you have paid Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so a certain amount of money, and the public has to confirm on both sides this information. And it means that we are replacing all the regulatory authority and the banking system with individuals. Now, is this also the same question arises here? Is this also a wise decision to do? When you are removing the concept of regulatory authority, is this a wise step? I don't know. Personally, my opinion is that if we continue with this process by relieving regulatory authorities from their duties, who can put a stop that we may not arrive at complete anarchy, and that individual, in fact, will lead our countries or the whole world into complete collapse. Therefore, the crisis that may happen will be even stronger than the economic and the financial crisis that we have due to a regular market crash. At least there you have regulatory authorities and some official bodies that you can refer to, and they can do some adjustment. Here, who can do the adjustment? Who can do the repairing work? Therefore, if individuals do something wrong, then we have to clean up their mess after them. Therefore, it's a cryptocurrency. It's not the concept that we are talking about, the currency as it stands alone. It's not a concept hanging in the air, and then we have to accept it as it is because it is a IT advancement. This is the future. This is the use of software, and then we have to step into there. Otherwise, then we are against liberalism, and this is not the concept that should be taken. This is a very limited side. It means that you are avoiding all the macro picture regarding cryptocurrencies, and I think this has to be given the right dimension and the proper attention. Okay, then quickly I will go through these. I'm more interested in the questions and discussion rather than making a lecture. Okay, definition and characteristics of the cryptocurrency. Now we are all, if we are all in the banking sector, we are supposed to be familiar with this. Therefore, it's an encrypted electronic unit that doesn't have any physical existence, and the information is on a general ledger, which is decentralized, meaning that anyone participating has the same reference to this ledger. Instead of having one general ledger, this ledger is available to everybody. Therefore, it is decentralized. It's as compared to the central bank. It is decentralized, but yet at the same time, it's now currently only used for transfers. It uses the blockchain technology, and this blockchain technology is supposed to confirm that it is safe and it's not subject to hacking, which is not the case so far. So there has been so many millions of dollars of losses due to hacking, but this is the definition here. It's based on the blockchain technology, and it's subject to third-party validation. Now, these are virtual currencies, as we said. It doesn't have any material existence. It has no physical existence, and it has no intrinsic value, like metal currencies, for instance. Although it has a certain similarity to paper currency, meaning that it has no material existence. It has no intrinsic value like gold and silver, metal currencies, and it's not guaranteed by the government, right? And it's not actually backed by anything. It's backed by the trust of individuals for the party that issued this currency because of its economic strength, maybe because of its military strength. Then people have trust in this currency and they maintain it and they use it. Therefore, here the similarity is available. But the basic element that it's not pervasive. It means that not everybody can have a cryptocurrency for a very simple reason. If you need, because you will need a smartphone or a laptop. Suppose you are not holding enough money, you are from the lower income tier, or you are a poor person, and you know that what is the percentage of people on earth that are qualified to be said poor. Therefore, they don't have smartphones, they don't have laptops. So many parts of the world until now, they don't have electricity and they don't have the luxury of using internet. Therefore, definitely they will not have access to these types of currencies because they don't have the tools to it. Therefore, it means that these currencies are restricted to the higher income tier population of the world, not of a certain country, but of the whole world. Okay. Therefore, The Bitcoin, as we already know, that Satoshi Nakamoto issued this currency. He had a partner, and the Bitcoin started in 2009. It reached $65,000. Yesterday, it dropped. As I read in the news, it's again less than 59,000 because we have a dispute. The dispute is, which is very important, in fact, to track what is happening. We have certain group of people claiming that their father who has died was the partner of Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto. And therefore, they are entitled to half of the 1 million Bitcoins that Mr. Nakamoto kept for himself, which is worth something around $60 billion. Now, they filed the case just 2 or 3 days ago in a court in Miami. And it so happens now that it comes up that Satoshi Nakamoto may not be Satoshi Nakamoto. Maybe it's only a fake name. Who is he? Nobody knows. Is he really Japanese? Or it's just a nickname for him? By what virtue now this distribution of inheritance will be decided? That yes, you own half of this $60 billion or not. Therefore, using this, I'm on to pinpoint on one major issue, which we will come to later, which I'll make the comment here anyway. What happens actually if Satoshi Nakamoto dies? Now, Bitcoin is evaluated at more than $1 trillion already, the market value. What happens to this amount of money? What happens if Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto decides to simply close his website on Bitcoin? There's no Bitcoin anymore because he invented it, therefore he decides to close it. Or what happens if he dies himself, not his partners? Therefore, these are real issues that have to be faced. And in fact, all those who have brought up research papers, nobody are discussing these macro issues on the cryptocurrencies. Therefore, while central banks don't die, right? It's a regulatory authority, and you can always change those people involved in central banking. But here you have a single person or two persons who are establishing this cryptocurrency on a website, and then they decide to close it, as happened to 2 weeks ago. You remember what is I will come to it also later. They invented the cryptocurrency based on the Squid TV series, the Korean TV series. And then after this Squid cryptocurrency has maintained a certain number of millions of dollars, they decided they closed it up, they took the millions, and now people lost their money. Who says that Bitcoin cannot go through the same risk? It may happen, right? It happened before now in this Squid cryptocurrency. Who says it can't happen to Bitcoin? Nobody will say that. Okay. Therefore, here we come to the money supply. Limited cryptocurrency supply. It's Mr. Japanese who decided that it's a limited supply of 21 million bit units. Why? For a very simple formula, mathematical formula, and I'm not very good at mathematics, but for each transaction validation, it requires 10 minutes in Bitcoin. In other cryptocurrencies, it may be maybe up to 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, based on the cryptocurrency and the technology they are using. In Bitcoin, it is 10 minutes per validation. And therefore, since the reward has started at 50 Bitcoins, and every four years, then the reward will be diminished by 50% as you go all along the time frame. The reward goes from 50 to 25 to 12.5, 50% all the way, it's cut down. Therefore, based on this 10-minute validation and the reward that is available, validation will be finished, and the total number of Bitcoins will be 21 million Bitcoins issued as the rewards for mining through the whole period. Therefore, it is limited at 21 million. And then after issuing the 21 million, there will be no mining anymore. You can use it for trading. You buy it and sell it and use it to purchase other types of commodities and services. Now, quickly saying that, who accepted cryptocurrencies, especially the Bitcoin? You have all through. I have a very, very, very long list regarding each country in the world who accepted and who did not accept. And in fact, the majority of countries around the world, they do not recognize cryptocurrency as a currency, but they accept its presence in the market due to one reason. Most countries who accepted this use of cryptocurrencies in their economies because they want to charge taxes on it. Therefore, if you own a cryptocurrency and you have generated income, profits because of the increment in the value of this cryptocurrency, then you are subject to paying taxes to the government. But in all these currencies, there's only one country who accepted cryptocurrency as a legal currency, which is Salvador. And El Salvador is not a major country now. We're not talking about a hard currency in El Salvador. Maybe they have used it for their own reasons. But all through the world, nobody has recognized cryptocurrencies as a legal, legitimate currency in any country. But it is, any increment in the income is subject to taxes. Therefore, government generates tax income from that. This is why they recognize the transactions only, but not as a legal currency. Okay. And the list is very long. I didn't put it here. Now, how do you obtain a Bitcoin to start with? We talked about validation. When you validate a transaction, meaning, what is validating the validating transaction? I think we will come to it. It means that this individual who validates the transaction is doing the job of the bank on either side. Is you have to verify that this person, this individual who made the transfer and has written the transaction on the general ledger, that he has an account, he has a balance in his account, that his electronic signature is true. And on the other side, on both sides, we have to validate these two persons' signatures, accounts, and balances. Once you do this validation, which is called mining, then you deserve a reward. Now, this picture gives you, this is one picture on a mining cave in Iceland that was moved from China into Iceland. Therefore, we're not looking at a laptop here or a group of individuals, 4 or 5 laptops joining together to do mining. We are looking here at investments in billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars for mining. You see these computer frames, the electricity consumption that they require, and then the cooling system that they need. Because of this huge consumption of electricity, China banned mining of cryptocurrencies. Therefore, these companies moved out and they went to other types. They went to Canada near the waterfalls. And some of them, which is this picture, they moved to Iceland because already it's below zero. Somewhere they made this below zero. And you can see how huge is this mining cave. And this is only a part of it. I didn't put the full picture. This is only one part of a mining cave. Therefore, if I have a laptop at home, what is the chance of me getting a reward if I am mining from my own laptop with my limited electricity and internet connections, right? Therefore, here you have the concept of monopoly. Those big companies or investors who can in fact afford to pay all the money to make this mining, they are going to get all the Bitcoins for themselves. Not to mention that Mr. inventor of Bitcoin, when he said that the total value of cryptocurrency Bitcoin to be issued is 21 million, he said, I will keep 1 million Bitcoin for myself. By what virtue? Right? So you suppose that the central bank will issue, will sign a contract with a printing company to print some currency for us, and then this printing company says, we will keep this amount of money for us. This is not the fees they are getting for printing money. This is the amount of money that they will keep to themselves by their own decision. This is what Mr. Nakamoto said. Yeah, this is, if you get this amount of money out of the printed amount of currency, this is riba. Now, Mr. Nakamoto decided, this is why he has the $60 billion, because he has 1 million units. Right. This is another question. If an issuer of crypto is the issuer of a cryptocurrency permitted to maintain any amount of this cryptocurrency for himself because he is the inventor and the issuer of this cryptocurrency? This is also another big question mark that nobody has addressed. Okay, therefore we are talking about sophisticated modern computers. We are not talking about a single type of a laptop. It's a complex data algorithm, and it's encrypted mathematical formulas. And if you have the software, you put it in your system and you let these computers run using all this internet and this electricity, and whoever is stronger will get the Bitcoins to himself. Therefore, there's no free competition here, and only the stronger type of investments in this software will be able to get all their Bitcoins. Okay, now here we have cryptocurrency accounts or addresses. There are no names, right? We are transferring from an account to an account, or from an address to an address. And this is a system-generated address, right? And you have now an account with a cryptocurrency that you need a private code and a general code, the general key to enter into the trading to the trading host, and then the private code to make the transfer itself. And in one of the literature that has been written about cryptocurrency, this is subject to debate. I read, in fact, 2 contradictory literature articles that says, if you lose your private key, then you have lost all the Bitcoins that you have in your account. It's non-recoverable. You cannot get it back. Another article said that yes, you can get it back, but you need the type of technology that allows you to do that. Therefore, this is not decided yet. But the concept here that this is another risk. If you have a certain sum of Bitcoins in your account or address, and you lose for a reason your private key, then you lose all the money that you have paid to get these Bitcoins. And mind you that they said on the website, they will tell you, don't write your private key anywhere, and don't write it, don't save it, don't put it for anybody to be able to get it and use it for fraud purposes. So therefore, and if you look at these keys, it's not a couple of numbers, right? It's a very long, complicated number because it's system generated, and you have to be very careful not to lose it. Now, I come to this picture. This is half of the picture. Maybe I shouldn't have written here half of the truth. It's half of the picture. Now, this picture will tell you that this dog is in fact attacking the sheep. Let's see if this is true. Why I'm putting this picture here? For a very simple reason. We have so many Sharia scholars that have already issued research papers and issued their own opinions that cryptocurrencies are Sharia compliant. And they base their opinion based on specific items or specific issues regarding the currency. For instance, they say that if both parties agree to pay their debts with this money, and they agree with mutual agreement that to use the cryptocurrency, then this is acceptable. You can use cryptocurrency. And this is not good enough, in fact. Because as I said, on the macro picture that I have just illustrated before, nobody has discussed that yet. through all the articles that I have read, nobody has tackled these issues so far that I have mentioned before on the macro image. Therefore, when a Sharia scholar says that that cryptocurrency is Sharia compliant based on a single item or a single issue regarding cryptocurrency, it means that he is not tackling the whole picture, right? If you go to the roots of fiqh, when you need to issue a Sharia compliance rule, then you have to look at the whole picture altogether from all its sides. You don't just look at an elephant to say it's an elephant from the tail, or because it has two long horns or big ears. You have to look from all sides to decide that it's an elephant. Therefore, here, when Sharia scholars say cryptocurrency is Sharia compliant based on one or two items, they are not making their decision based on the full picture. What is the full picture? We'll come to. From a Sharia perspective, they say these are the basic. There are differently also more reasons why they say that cryptocurrency is Sharia compliant, but I made here the major ones. That from a Sharia perspective, all transactions are permitted unless it is prohibited by verses from the Quran or from the Hadith. This is a general rule. Yes, it is acceptable. And the principle of mutual acceptance, since both parties accept to use cryptocurrency, then this is enough to validate a transaction and use cryptocurrency to be an acceptable currency. Therefore, I mean, they say it's Sharia compliant because of this reason only. Or the process of mining, it is verifies ownership of a currency and the assigned asset and its ownership. Now, in fact, is cryptocurrency an asset? It's not, because some of them claim that cryptocurrency is an asset, sila. No, it's not an asset. An asset is anything of value and that has intrinsic benefit, like a chair, like eyeglasses, like a computer, like a glass of water, like any type of a commodity has its own benefit. But the currency doesn't have any benefit. Therefore, it cannot be defined as a commodity or as an asset because it has no intrinsic benefit. Therefore, this is also not acceptable. And in fact, they say that obtaining Bitcoins from mining is just like you are getting your wage for doing this type of validation of information, right? So this part may be acceptable, but the other part is not. There's no evidence to restrict currencies other than in gold and silver, and then any currency that's accepted by the public, then it's considered to be as a currency if people accept to that, and it's subject to the rules of zakat, and then also the rules of riba should apply. And those who have said that cryptocurrency is Sharia compliant, they say it is subject to zakat, and then yes, riba also applies to these cryptocurrencies. Therefore, if you put these reasons individually, separately, to issue a Sharia compliance rule saying that cryptocurrency is Sharia compliant, I would say this is a wrong deduction. This is not the proper way to arrive at a resolution that cryptocurrency is Sharia compliant or Sharia non-compliant. We need to visualize the full picture from all its sides. Therefore, actually, the dog is not attacking the sheep, but the dog is saving the sheep from drowning in a swamp of water, right? Therefore, to arrive at the true and the correct decision, we have to see the full picture, right? Therefore, you cannot base your Sharia compliance rule based on a single item or a single issue regarding cryptocurrency. What are the Sharia compliance issues? I'll try to limit myself because my 1 hour is about to expire and I need to move it forward. Absence of official regulatory permission and supervision, right? This is the first item. We've already discussed it. It's issued by individuals without permission, without authorization, without any supervision, without any follow-up. You don't know the individuals. You don't know what are the type of transaction relevant to this transfer. Transferring 1 million Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin to buy what? Right? When you're making a sale transaction, there are 3 major pillars here involved. Right? 3 major pillars. One of them is that you need to identify the Sharia and legal compatibility of the contractual parties. Either are they legally and Sharia compliant, compatible or not? Maybe one of them is bankrupt. Maybe one of them is old enough and he is restricted from making any transaction. Maybe one of them is underage. Maybe one of them has been, his civil rights have been eliminated. Maybe. There are so many maybes here. But when you are using cryptocurrency, you have account names, you have the account names or the account numbers, but you don't have names. You don't know the individual. Who are the contractual parties? You don't know them. The second one, the second item as a pillar here in the transaction is that the subject matter of the transfer. Why are you transfer this money to the second party? You don't know. What are you buying from? Maybe it's not legitimate. Maybe it's not legal. Maybe it's not Sharia compliant. Therefore, these are the third is the mutual agreement. Therefore, means that the transaction is Sharia non-compliant. It's invalid transaction, and this is what's being done on the cryptocurrency. And this issue is not tackled here. I mean, in all the research paper, I haven't. They said there's mutual agreement, but this is only one pillar of the 3. Based on the one pillar, we say cryptocurrency is Sharia compliant. How about the absence of the 2 other pillars? Why nobody looks at it? Okay. Absence of economic platform to support the cryptocurrency. This is a very highly similarity with paper currency, that you have no support, no backup, no nothing. There's no gold reference anymore. It's based on the wealth of the nation, the economic power of the nation, the economic growth, all these items that will give credibility and trust from the people to that currency. But in cryptocurrency, it's not linked to anything. It's not linked to any economic background, not linked to any activity, not linked to any material value or economic value. Like, where do you get the value of a cryptocurrency from? Is it a commodity? As we said, no, it's not. A currency is supposed to be the medium of exchange. Therefore, you are changing, by using these types of cryptocurrencies, we are changing the use of a currency from a medium of exchange, that the value for other commodities, right? And to maintain the value of the currency, we are changing all that and making it a commodity. And this is not the function of money. The function of money is a medium of exchange. Here we are using cryptocurrency as a commodity, buying and selling cryptocurrency as a commodity. And from Sharia perspective, you're only looking at generating profit from the transaction. You don't need this currency in itself. Therefore, this is speculation, and speculation is Sharia non-compliant. How can I get it? Okay. If you don't have the electronic tools, then you cannot have this cryptocurrency. In contradiction to Islamic banking, the whole theory of Islamic banking, if you look at it, and then look at the cryptocurrency, put them just to look at the similarities, we say that cryptocurrency doesn't exist. It exists in Islamic banking. Why in Islamic banking we don't give cash money out as a loan? Because each type of Islamic banking financing facility is relevant and directly connected to an economic activity. It means that any type of facility that's given from an Islamic bank in financing to a company will generate additional wealth, additional economic activity, and additional economic value added in a certain country. Therefore, we are on solid ground. We don't move into the virtual world. We don't generate bubbles. And as compared to cryptocurrency, Cryptocurrency has no material availability, has no physical presence, is only virtual, it's only available on electronic devices. It has no relevant connection to the real world as compared to working in the real economy when it comes to the whole financing system in Islamic banking. Therefore, there's a very, you can see the difference here. And therefore, when I look at cryptocurrency from this perspective, I say it's highly unrelated to our mode of thinking when it comes to Islamic banking, because we are working in the real world, in the real economy, generating real economic value financing, while cryptocurrency is out of this scope completely. Okay, just to make the comparison. Here, as I said previously, we are changing the purpose of the currency from a medium of exchange to a commodity to an investment tool. You want to generate more money from the cryptocurrency, and this is speculation, and speculation is Sharia non-compliant. Okay, therefore, just by definition, investment that you should work something. You have to do some work, you have to take some risk, and you have to add maybe capital to it to generate an additional profit. Here in the cryptocurrency, actually, there's no economic activity. It's just buying and selling this cryptocurrency to make excess cash. Gharar, where the end result is not established, or you don't know. If you make a transaction and you don't know if the end result will happen or not, right? We have excessive uncertainty regarding the continuous existence of cryptocurrency. This is where gharar comes. Will Bitcoin persist all through the years? Where will the $1 trillion end up with? It will end up with who? If this Bitcoin, for a reason, stops, right? So I just said it happened already with a different cryptocurrency. Therefore, there's a high degree of uncertainty here, and then we are subjecting ourselves to a high risk of losing all the money invested in cryptocurrency. Because it just may be that Mr. Japanese here will decide to shut off his website, and then we cannot get hold of any material or physical existence of this type of currencies. Now, this is not like digital currencies. When you have a credit card or a ATM card, it means you have a plastic card, but it's backed up by your account in the bank, or if you have a PayPal account and it's backed up, it's transferred to regulatory bodies. You have funds available in the account, and we are using these digital type of accounts, but they are backed up by real money. Here, you don't have this backup available in the cryptocurrency at all. Okay. We have excessive gharar, excessive uncertainty because of the valuation of the cryptocurrency, right? The value of $1 million of a Bitcoin was $1, and now 3 days ago it was $65,000. Then it dropped back to $59,000 per Bitcoin. Now, definitely all types of paper currency are subject to change in prices, but not to that extent. But still, there is a degree of uncertainty. But when it comes to cryptocurrency, the question is, what happens after you stop mining? It means that we have issued 21 million Bitcoin, and then there is more demand for a Bitcoin. What will happen to the value of the Bitcoin? It will be 100,000, 200,000, $1 million. Where is the stability here? Nobody knows. This is uncertain. It has not been tackled. Cyber attacks, so many sites that have cryptocurrency dealings and platforms have been attacked, and they have lost millions of dollars. Even if they say that using blockchain will protect the general ledger and the accounts, yet hacking has happened and losses have been in hundreds of millions of dollars. Here's one of them. This guy here is saying that hacked cryptocurrency, this is the exchange itself, okay, where you are trading. And this is in February 2014, and they have lost $425 million on one transaction due to hacking. Okay. Just as a sample, there are a lot more on it. Limited supply and dealing, we have already also said about that. Cryptocurrency is not available to everybody. It is of a limited supply. It means you have one part of society that will get wealthier all the time, and it's not available to everybody. It's not pervasive. And therefore, in fact, we are supposed from a Sharia perspective that a currency should, or money in its totality, should not be restricted to a certain group of wealthy people. It has to be pervasive to everybody. But here we have limited supply and limited dealing to only to those people that who have it. And now I have come to learn that people who are trading in cryptocurrency, in fact, they group up, like one individual is grouping up money from so many individuals, and he has collected $4 million to trade in cryptocurrencies, and finally they lost it in the Binance fund. What happens here, if you have $100, $200, $500, it's very minimal amount of money, and you cannot trade in Bitcoin. Therefore, what happens is that they group this money up with a single person. This is why I'm saying it's not available to everybody. Okay, lots of control of monetary policy. Also, I have said that. Who will decide on the money supply? Who can make control? First is cryptocurrency part of the money supply. Interest rate, issuing bonds, if you're talking about the interest-based banking system. Therefore, it means that the regulatory system has no control and they cannot influence this type of cryptocurrencies. Ignorance of the transaction parties that I have already mentioned also. You have the contractual parties, the transferor and the transferee who's receiving the money. You don't know their IDs, you do not process the KYC, the AML. And then, as we said, it's the volume of electricity that's consumed, and then the damage that's done to environment. It's in fact horrendous. It's unbelievable. You should read research papers that have been written regarding how much electricity is being consumed just for mining. And countries are banning cryptocurrencies because they cannot afford to give them the electricity, because they are taking electricity from the use from household and industrial sectors. I think China and other countries have banned such. Now you have Bitcoin's machines that are available all the way. Here we have a few of them also in Beirut. It's already available. As a single individual, we can use it to buy Sharia compliance parameters to issue a cryptocurrency. I will sum it up in these two slides. So, from what I have said, does it mean that cryptocurrency is Sharia non-compliant and we cannot issue it? No, I would say we can issue cryptocurrency subject to certain Sharia compliance parameters. If the reason for issuing a cryptocurrency is to avoid paying fees to a bank, and for making a quick transfer in a matter of 10 minutes instead of using the SWIFT system in 24 or 48 hours, then we can make our adjustments to the current banking system, where we can use the same technology to make it easier, faster, and free from any fees. But here, the concept is completely different. But can we issue a cryptocurrency? Yes. We need the right Sharia compliance parameters. Instead of individuals issuing their cryptocurrencies, then official authority will issue cryptocurrencies subject to Sharia compliance parameters. Therefore, it must be issued by an official regulatory, right? Because here it's the same, like suppose somebody on the street makes something wrong to me. Suppose I'm a trader and another trader cheats on me. Suppose that I'm a teacher and I don't get paid. What do? Should I take up my sword and then hit everybody on the street taking the law in my own hands? No, you need regulatory body to do that. Therefore, I have to go to assign a lawyer and file a case in the court, and then This is the way I get my right back. Cryptocurrency is actually taking its sword directly in the hand and taking action by issuing the cryptocurrency directly, which I don't see that this is proper. That it must be issued by an official regulatory system subject to control. It must be controlled, supervised by the regulatory body and followed to control the amount and the volume, the transactions, to verify the transaction, the transactional parties on both sides, and the purpose of this transaction. And but at the same time, we can make it as fast and fee-free. And we can make this verification instead of by individuals. Verifications can be made through the central bank system by adopting the same technology, and it can make it faster and fee-free, as I said, instead of giving it to the hands of the public. And it must be pervasive to public use. Anybody, anywhere on the street must be able to use a cryptocurrency. And this is one of the Sharia compliance parameters, that if you have a cryptocurrency which cannot be used by most people, then it cannot be designated as a currency. And it must maintain the functions of money, that it is a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a value for other commodities. It's not supposed to be a commodity for trading or an investment unit. Okay. I have put this, in fact, 3 forms. I will end up here by saying that whenever we need to decide, is it Sharia compliant or not? These 3 formulas, simple formulas, that can give us a guide regarding that. When you have assets and risks, it means if you are a trader using any type of a commodity, you have certain trading risks assigned to you, linked with that commodity. Then you may generate profit or loss. This is in the business of trading. Therefore, yes, it is Sharia compliant this way. But if you go to the third one, where you have, to the second one, sorry, if you have no assets, but you have risks, it means this is a gamble, right? Just like lottery, when you buy lottery, or insurance. What does an insurance company buy or sells? It doesn't sell anything. It has no commodity. It has no service. It is buying our risks. Therefore, when the insurance company buys a risk, there's no asset. Therefore, it becomes a gamble, because the risk may or may not. The probabilities of having the risk, it's not taking a risk on the asset itself. There's the probability of the risk happening or not happening. Therefore, this is gamble. But you have an asset sale contract with no delivery. It means you don't want the cryptocurrency for itself, but you are taking the risk whether it goes up or down, because you are buying and selling. Now, this is speculation. Speculation also is Sharia non-compliant. Therefore, our Sharia compliance will be restricted to the first one, when you talk about an asset with a risk, and this doesn't apply to cryptocurrency. Therefore, cryptocurrency can be supported through the central bank. It can be oil-based, crude-based, gold-based, crude oil-based. It can be based on economic assets, the economic wealth of the country, or any type of support that can be available in a certain country to give the trust in this cryptocurrency. Now, the general public is putting trust in the currency just because it is giving them profit, not because of the issuer, because the issuer may not be available alive tomorrow. Okay. Therefore, yes, we can put some type of support for cryptocurrency to make it more valid. Now, so many people here, majority of people would like cryptocurrencies because some of them have become wealthy. You need to come to be wealthy from legitimate Sharia compliant sources, and not from any available source. It has to be a Sharia compliant source. Therefore, cryptocurrency has to be revisited from all its perspectives before arriving at a final result to say that yes, it is Sharia compliant. And we have lots of items written on this, and I have no objection if the administrator would like to give you hold of this slides you can look at to arrive at the better understanding of this topic. And now I'm ready to answer your question if you wish.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anwar. MashaAllah, it was really very insightful and informative session. Alhamdulillah, we benefited a lot. I hope all the participants and all the guests, online guests, received absolute knowledge and ideas that they expected from this lecture. So thank you very much, Doctor, again. So we now open the floor for any questions or any comment. If anybody would like to ask any question or add any comment, please write your question or comment so that we can respond to your question, please. We can see here, mashallah, more than 200 participants, along with our live broadcasting in YouTube channel of Islamic Economic Association, Misbah Islamic. So we are waiting for any questions from the participants.
I can add if you wish, Dr. Muhammad.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Last week there was a meeting at the Soubra Assembly building in Jeddah, and there was a discussion on the concept of Bitcoin. And I have read the articles that have been written by the participating Sharia scholars. And you can see that the mix of opinions by the Sharia compliance decision, that many of them just describe the cryptocurrency, what it is, how it works, and then they refrain from saying it's Sharia compliant or not. Some other scholars have decisively said it's Sharia non-compliant. A couple of Sharia scholars whom I highly respect, but I don't agree with their opinion, they said it's Sharia compliant. Sheikh Abdul Bari Mishal and Muhammad Ali Gari, they said it is Sharia compliant. But as I said, they did not tackle the whole concept from all its perspective. This is why, and I did not accept the Sharia compliance decision as it stands. There are so many the fatwas that have been issued by certain bodies that have said that cryptocurrency is Sharia non-compliant, but like in al-fatwa in Palestine, in Al-Emirat, in Egypt, in Jordan, in Indonesia last week, they all ruled that cryptocurrencies are Sharia non-compliant. There are a limited number of scholars who issued Sharia compliance rulings, and a couple in Malaysia also said it's Sharia compliant. I guess Dr. Muhammad Dawood Bakr, and the Fatwa Assembly in Malaysia. But until now, the majority of Sharia scholars are not very well receptive of cryptocurrencies so far. I think that it must be subject to a collective fatwa in the Fuqah, in the Islamic Fuqah Assembly, that should be in fact reviewed based on deep research covering all the perspectives to arrive at the proper Sharia decisive compliance rule.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Someone asked, the Naira, is it a cryptocurrency?
Which it? Sorry, I didn't get it.
He read in Naira from Basiru. I think it's in Nigeria, I guess.
I'm not aware of what is it. It's a cryptocurrency, you mean?
Yeah. Mr. Bashira, is it around? If you can raise your hand, maybe we can hear from you.
Because we have thousands of cryptocurrencies, And
Yes,
some of
yes.
them have differing natures, but they all fall within the same category. Therefore, if we're saying that Bitcoin is Sharia non-compliant, then the same applies to other cryptocurrencies. Now, some cryptocurrencies have been based on US dollar, on gold, or on oil. Venezuela is issuing cryptocurrency based on oil. You know, Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the whole world. The U.S. Federal Reserve is evaluating the possibility of issuing a cryptocurrency based on the U.S. dollar. And some other country, most probably, I guess, is China. They are also evaluating issuing the cryptocurrency based on gold. Therefore, this will be more appropriate. It's not floating in the air. It has a certain type of support. But we have also to see the other, the full perspective, not only that it is supported or not, as I said previously.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Someone asked, in your opinion, is there a future for digital currencies in Arab countries or not?
I would like to stress the point that if Sharia compliance parameters are put in place, then a cryptocurrency, a Sharia compliant cryptocurrency can be made available. But if you are making a cryptocurrency given exactly as being traded now and issued now, no. But the Arab world, yes, they have the possibilities to do so because the technology is available and the investment, the capital available for investing in cryptocurrency is available. Therefore, there's no reason why we cannot issue a cryptocurrency in any of the Arab world. But what is needed, we are talking from a Sharia compliance perspective, then yes, then the Sharia compliance parameters must be accepted and applied to be a Sharia compliant cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Let's see. Let's listen to Mr. Imaduddin, who raised hand. Please, Mr. Imaduddin, are you with us? If you have any question, please. Hello. I think he's not around. Never mind. Let's go for Osama, Mr. Osama. Welcome, Mr. Osama. Mr. Osama Shahbaj, are you with us? Okay, let's move to someone else. Ustaz Fadi. Ustaz Fadi, are you with us? Welcome, Ustaz Fadi. Hello.
Maybe they are muted.
I think they were like maybe they raised hand long time ago. Maybe they got answer. Yes. Okay, let's go for the Dr. Ustaz Anwar. I don't know either the Ustaz Anwar is a doctor. Never mind. Let's listen to Mr. Anwar, who is with us now. Welcome, Mr. Anwar.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. أهلا وسهلا شيخنا.
أهلا بك دكتور محي الدين. أهلا دكتور أنور. أعتذر لم أحضر كل المحاضرة، لكن عندي ملاحظة، كان الكتابة في العرض غير واضحة. أنا أخذت المادة العلمية وإن شاء الله أراجعها. عندي ملاحظتين، يعني أنا متابع لموضوع العملات الرقمية، لكن مع الأسف حتى هذه اللحظة لم أستطع أن أفهم طريقة توليد هذه العملات، يعني طريقة إنشائها. يعني يقولون أنها خوارزميات وكذا، تأخذ وقت طويل في الإنشاء، في الحواسيب القوية وكذا، لكن الحقيقة أنه لم يتضح لي طريقة يعني إنشاء هذه العملة. والموضوع الآخر الذي كذلك لاحظته أنه لا تعرف من المالك في النهاية، يعني من هو المالك وأين تقع وهي في ملكية من. هذه يعني ملاحظاتي، وربما أجبتم على هذه النقاط في المحاضرة، لكن أعتذر لم أكن.
لا ما في مشكلة إن شاء الله أجيب بعجالة. بالنسبة للنقطة الثانية من حيث المالك، نحن قلنا إنه في عنا المالك أو المتعاقدان يعني. We have both parties, the contractual parties, the transferor and the transferee, the party who's sending the money, the party who's receiving the money. You don't know who they are. They have addresses or accounts, but you don't know who they are. Therefore, this is one of the Sharia non-compliance items. هيك بصير في عندنا جهالة، عدم معرفة أطراف التعاقد، في جهالة فيه. إذا عندهم أهلية التعاقد أو ما عندهم أهلية. When it comes to the ownership of the Bitcoin itself, who issued the Bitcoin? Who owns the website of the Bitcoin? What happens to the website after 1 year, after 10 years? Who will hold the money? And yes, this is another item, as you said, there's excessive uncertainty, غرر فاحش. And there is a high concept of ignorance, جهالة أيضا فاحشة. Therefore, these are Sharia compliance issues that have to be taken into consideration whenever we are applying cryptocurrency. Now, regarding the concept of how to issue a cryptocurrency, طريقة إنشاء cryptocurrency يعني ولا أنا بقدر أفيدك فيها أخي الكريم. This is a very sophisticated mathematical type of formulas, as they said, issuing the currency itself using the for transactional purpose, they use the blockchain. But how to issue the currency itself, I'm not an expert on IT, on such type of software, therefore I'm not the proper reference to tell you how it's done. But this is another item that can be coupled with the concept of ownership. Yani, how is it that there is a high degree of ignorance here, right? And it must be addressed to see is it a proper way to issue currencies using this type of algorithms.
ربما دكتور ربما هذا الموضوع مرتبط أيضا في موضوع البلوك تشين.
في الواقع البلوك تشين تستخدم لتنفيذ عمليات تبادل وتداول العملات المشفرة.
أيوه.
فالبلوك تشين مش مستخدم لإنشاء العملة نفسها، ولكن للتداول فيها وتبادلها. ولكن الخوارزميات والمعادلات الحسابية هي المستعملة في إنشاء العملة نفسها. فهيدي إذا بقيت مجهولة بصير في عنا خلل فيها من الموضوع بالجهالة بهذه العملة وكيفيتها وفي تصويرها للوصول إلى حقيقتها الشرعية.
هل لدينا طريقة للاستعانة بخبراء أو علماء في موضوع البلوك تشين وهذه الخوارزميات ليكونوا
موجود فيها كتابات كثيرة وموجود فيها دراسات كثيرة بتشرح. You can refer to many research articles and there are a lot of literature written on that, on how to issue a cryptocurrency, and with all the essential knowledge required, that it is available. But I'm not the reference expert on that. I cannot be of any help here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Ammar, and thank you, Ustaz Anwar. So I think it's almost going to end the session for today. So we are looking for maybe last question. If there is any last question, is it do currency really exist? I think it's already answered by our guest speaker. Ustaz Ribaz Sadiq. Mr. Ribaz, are you with us? مرحبا.
السلام عليكم
بك.
وعليكم السلام.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
جزاكم الله خيرا.
بارك الله فيك.
على هذه المحاضرة القيمة. أنا عندي ملاحظة بالنسبة للتعامل بالعملات الشرعية. أنا أتكلم معكم في العراق، من العراق.
تفضل أخي.
يعني ليس من الغريب، ليس هناك قانون حتى الآن في باقي الدول العربية أعتقد يعني تنظم هذه المسألة، يعني تنظم مسألة التعامل بالعملات الورقية أو بالعملات المشفرة. يعني لماذا ليس هناك قانون حتى الآن؟
شكرا أستاذ جباس.
جزاكم الله
أستاذ
خير.
أنور، تفضل أستاذ.
وأخي الكريم، اللي حصل إنه معظم الدول العربية ومعظم دول العالم لا تعترف إنه العملات المشفرة هي عملات، هي ليست عملة، ولكن هي تسمح بالتعامل فيها، وبالتالي أي أرباح تتحقق من خلال التعامل بالعملات المشفرة وجب فيها دفع ضرائب للدولة. ولكن مثل ما قلت أنا، فقط دولة السلفادور هي الوحيدة التي اعترفت قانونا بأن العملات المشفرة خاصة البيتكوين هي عملة. لا يوجد أي دولة في العالم تعترف فيها قانونا أن العملات المشفرة هي عملة، وبالتالي لا حاجة لقانون ينظم عملها لأنه غير معترف فيها القانون. Therefore, if it's legally not recognized, then you don't need a law to regulate it or the transaction. Is there another question, Dr. Muhammad?
نعم شكرا أستاذ. I think we are going to conclude the session. Never mind. Okay. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my respected lecturers, students, my friends who joined the session today from around the world. I can see here from more than 30 countries join our brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for joining us today. And every time, every week in our activities, in our programs organized by Nadi Dr. Saad al-Islami, Bijamiatul Kuwait, we are just helping and doing this service as free of charge. So we do appreciate your support, your attendance, and your participation. And we also like to thank our management of Nadi Dr. Saad al-Islami, especially our Director General Fadilatul Ustad Dr. Ala Al-Ubaid, and all the members, all the Muhawir and Secretariat who are working hard every day to serve the Islam, humanity, and the world, and especially in this field, Islamic banking and finance. And our special thanks to our guest speaker, Dr. Anwar Misbah Soubra. MashaAllah, it was a very good, very interesting and informative session. And we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept his effort, his time, and him to reward him here and hereafter as well. So if you have, Dr. Anwar, if you have any concluding remark as advice, please welcome.
I'll just say a couple of comments. Thank you for giving me the chance to present my perspective on cryptocurrencies. And the second comment, I would like to address all those who are with us today by saying, please don't enter into any type of a financial transaction before obtaining the Sharia compliance resolution on that. Don't go for Sharia compliance resolution after the fact. Please do it before, because this has been the practice so far, which has ended in bad results. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you very much again. Those who ask about the certificates, please go to our website, www.sharia.org, sharia.org. So you will find the Madarij is Dar Shahadat. So you can get the certificate from our website. And those who are asked about the recording of the lecture, yes, this lecture and all our programs and lectures are recorded in our channel, YouTube channel, Bismi Nadil Iqtisad al-Islami, in the YouTube channel, and you will find all the PowerPoint slides as well in our official pages, such as in Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram as well, if you will be updated. So see you again, inshallah, in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May Allah bless us all. May Allah reward us all. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.